What's going on, everyone? If you've been following crypto news lately, you know things are moving fast. And today we are talking about something absolutely massive that could reshape the entire digital asset landscape in America. President Trump is pushing a major digital asset bill through Congress. And folks, this could be the beginning of an all out crypto war between innovation and regulation. Stay tuned because what I'm about to share could seriously impact your portfolio. But first, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of these crucial updates. Let's dive in. All right? So here's what's happening. The Trump administration has been making bold moves in the crypto space, and this new digital asset bill is reportedly one of the most comprehensive pieces of cryptocurrency legislation we've seen to date. Now, before we get into the specifics, let me give you some context. For years, the crypto industry has been operating in what many call a regulatory gray zone. Founders, investors, and everyday traders have been navigating unclear rules, contradictory guidance from different agencies, and the constant fear that the SEC might come knocking. This bill is supposed to change all of that. The Trump administration is framing this as pro-innovation legislation that will give the United States a competitive edge in the global digital economy. But as with anything in politics and finance, the devil is in the details. So what exactly does this bill contain? Based on reports and leaked drafts, here are the major components. First, regulatory clarity. The bill aims to establish clear definitions for different types of digital assets. We're talking about distinguishing between cryptocurrencies, utility tokens, security tokens, NFTs, and stablecoins. Each category would have its own regulatory framework. This is huge because right now, the SEC has been using the Howey test from 1946 to determine what's a security. And let's be honest, applying an 80-year-old test to blockchain technology has created nothing but confusion. Second, agency jurisdiction. One of the biggest battles in crypto regulation has been turf wars between different agencies. The SEC says one thing, the CFTC says another, and state regulators have their own rules. This bill reportedly assigns clear jurisdictional boundaries. From what we're hearing, the CFTC would oversee most cryptocurrency spot markets, while the SEC would maintain authority over token offerings that meet specific security criteria. Third, stablecoin regulations. Stablecoins have become the backbone of crypto trading, but they've also raised concerns about monetary policy and financial stability. This bill would establish licensing requirements for stablecoin issuers, requiring them to maintain one-to-one reserves with US dollars or equivalent assets. This could legitimize stablecoins, but also create barriers to entry. Fourth, DeFi provisions. Decentralized finance has been the Wild West of crypto. This bill would create a framework for DeFi protocols, potentially requiring certain protocols to register and implement. Compliance measures. This is where things get controversial, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Fifth, taxation clarity. Crypto traders rejoice or despair depending on your situation. The bill includes provisions for clear tax treatment of digital assets, including guidance on trading, staking rewards, and airdrops. No more guessing whether your yield farming counts as income or capital gains. Now, who is backing this bill? Unsurprisingly, it is getting support from some major players in the crypto industry. Big crypto exchanges like Coinbase have been lobbying for regulatory clarity for years. They see this as an opportunity to operate without the constant threat of enforcement actions. Several executives have publicly stated that clear rules, even if imperfect, are better than regulatory uncertainty. You have also got the Blockchain Association, the Chamber of Digital Commerce, and various crypto advocacy groups supporting the framework. So their argument: the United States is falling behind countries like Singapore, Switzerland, and the UAE in creating crypto-friendly environments. If America wants to remain the global financial leader, it needs modern rules for modern assets. Several Republican lawmakers are championing the bill, framing it as a victory for American innovation and free markets. But interestingly, some Democrats are also on board, particularly those from tech-heavy districts who see the economic potential. Even some traditional financial institutions are cautiously optimistic. Banks that have been sitting on the sidelines due to regulatory risk might finally feel comfortable offering crypto services to their customers. But not everyone is celebrating. Let's talk about the opposition, because this is where the crypto war really heats up. Consumer protection advocates are raising red flags. Organizations like Better Markets and Public Citizen argue that the bill doesn't do enough to protect retail investors from fraud and manipulation. They point to the billions lost in crypto scams, exchange collapses, and rug pulls as evidence that the industry needs stronger regulation, not a green light. Some progressive lawmakers are concerned this bill could entrench big players while making it harder for regulators to adapt to new threats. Senator Elizabeth Warren has been vocal about crypto enabling money laundering and terrorist financing. While she hasn't commented specifically on this bill yet, her past statements suggest she'd want much stricter provisions. Crypto purists and libertarians are attacking from the other side. They argue that any regulation contradicts the fundamental principles of cryptocurrency, decentralization, permissionless innovation, and freedom from government control. To them, this bill represents co-option of crypto by the very institutions Bitcoin was designed to replace. Environmental groups have concerns too. The bill reportedly doesn't address the energy consumption of proof-of-work mining, which some activists wanted to see limited or taxed differently. And here's an interesting twist. Some DeFi developers are worried that compliance requirements could kill decentralized innovation. If every smart contract needs to comply with KYC and AML regulations, can it really be called decentralized? This is a philosophical and practical challenge that the bill may not adequately address. So let's zoom out and look at the global implications. Because cryptocurrency is, by its very nature, borderless, if the United States establishes a comprehensive regulatory framework, it could influence how other countries approach crypto regulation. The EU already has its MiCA regulations coming into effect, and other nations are watching closely. Will we see regulatory convergence or divergence? There's also the competitive angle. If US regulations are too strict, projects might relocate to more crypto-friendly jurisdictions. We've already seen this happen, with exchanges moving operations offshore. But if the regulations strike the right balance, the US could attract crypto businesses that want stability and access to American capital markets. China banned crypto mining and trading, pushing that activity elsewhere. Russia is developing its own crypto framework to evade sanctions. The international crypto landscape is complex, and US policy will have ripple effects worldwide. For investors, this could mean changes in which projects can legally operate in the US, which exchanges Americans can access, and how international crypto transactions are treated. All right, let's get practical. What does this mean for you as a crypto investor, trader, or enthusiast? Short term, expect volatility. Markets react to regulatory news, and major legislation like this will cause price swings. We might see certain sectors like compliant stablecoins and regulated exchanges benefit, while privacy coins or truly decentralized protocols face selling pressure. Medium term, if this bill passes, we'll likely see a wave of institutional adoption. Banks, investment firms, and corporations that have been waiting for regulatory clarity might finally enter the market. This could drive prices up, but also change the character of crypto markets. Long term, the industry could bifurcate into regulated crypto finance and underground crypto. Regulated platforms would offer safety and convenience, but less privacy and freedom. Decentralized alternatives would continue to exist, but might operate in legal gray zones. For taxes, start keeping better records now. If clearer tax rules are coming, the IRS will have fewer excuses not to enforce them. Use crypto tax software, document your transactions, and consider consulting a crypto-savvy accountant. For strategy, diversification becomes even more important. Consider holding positions in both compliant projects that will benefit from regulation and decentralized projects that might thrive despite or because of regulatory pressure. So there you have it, the breakdown of Trump's massive digital asset bill and why it's sparking what some are calling a crypto war. Here's my take. Regulation was inevitable. The question was never if crypto would be regulated, but how and when. This bill represents a particular vision for that future, one that tries to balance innovation with oversight. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Will it satisfy everyone? Impossible, but it's a concrete proposal that will force important conversations about what we want the future of finance to look like. My advice, stay informed, stay flexible, and don't make decisions based on hype or fear. Whether this bill is ultimately good or bad for crypto will depend on the final details and how it's implemented. And how the market adapts. What do you think about this bill? Are you excited about regulatory clarity or worried about government overreach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and often respond. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, share it with your crypto friends, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on everything crypto and blockchain. Remember, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Until next time, stay safe out there in the crypto space, and I will see you in the next video.